Hello everybody and welcome back, and the party have rested up for the night. They have acquired a little goblin friend who has given them some information that the main goblin headquarters are here. And if anybody is going to cause trouble on our retreat from this place, or even if they may have captured Stephen, it will be in this building here. So what are we going to do with our horses? We left them on the hills last night, hitched to a tree stump. Probably not the wisest thing to do. We also don't want our little charmed goblin friend to see us kill his companions. That might break the charm. So we have a plan. We're going to lead the horses into this building here. It's one of the largest. And we are going to ask our little goblin to look after them. And should anybody come in to this building, our goblin is under instructions to tell them that these horses belong to old Skinny Legs and his friends of the Iron Ring. We know the Iron Ring are headquartered here and that they have their own horses, so that is a plausible excuse. And we might as well check in on some of these houses just to see if anything is in there. And so we listen at this one and this one. Not only does Liz not hear anything, but they are both empty. There is an 80% chance that something will be in this house. And what is in this house is 3 goblins. Right, Liz is going to listen at the door. She doesn't hear anything, so when we burst in, we have to roll for normal surprise. And they get the surprise on us. That's 1 on each, and the third one is going to go on Donard. So let's do their surprise round. I'll do the 2 on Donard. And they both miss. And I'll do the 1 on Carrick. And it misses. Right. So let's roll for round number 1. And I'll do all that again since they won. They both miss. That one misses badly. And that one misses. Right, so it's our turn. I'll do Liz, but I'll give her a -2 thackle penalty, even though she gets +1 short range. Well, that's an 11, so she does hit, and she does kill one of the goblins. Sylvia can move in for melee. She's going to help out Donard. And help she does, and that leaves one that's on Carrick. Donard can try and go for it. And yep, that is the house of the 3 dead goblins. We make our way to this one, and sure enough, they're both empty. Right, so eventually we make it to this large building here. It seems to have 2 doors. That's good, because it means we can have our 2 archers and Malin open 1 door after the boys burst in from this door, which means we can get a separate line of fire. Now the DM is told that there are 8 goblins here, 8 goblins here, the goblin chief with some bodyguards and more goblins in here, and if the combat in either of these rooms lasts for more than 5 rounds, then these goblins will join in. I think we can clear this up in 3. That won't be a problem. We will discover why they don't hear the combat later. We know there is somebody in there, even though Liz can't hear them, which means they're probably sitting around a table, bored. They can't get surprise on us. But since we know they're there, if we roll a 1 to 3, we can get surprise on them. Man, we don't. So we're going to have to burst in here. I think we ought to win initiative. They're sitting around a table. I think it might be a bit much to give us a free combat round, since they will be armed. This is meant to be a guardhouse. So we will win initiative on round number 1. So the 2 boys are going to burst open here. Sylvia, Liz and Malin are going to be here. And Liz misses. Right, she misses. 8 goblins. Is Malin gonna cast sleep? No, there may be worse ahead, especially since we know the goblin chief is here, so no, he has to sit this one out. No, he can throw a dagger. And with a short range bonus, he hits AC 6 and he does 2 damage onto 1 goblin. Right, it's a bit embarrassing when your useless younger brother can throw a dagger and hit something and you can't, Liz. Donard's gonna weigh in. And weighs out. And Carrick. Yep, he just obliterates one. There are 7 left, so that's going to be 2 each on Donard, Carrick, Sylvia, and 1 on Liz. And Sylvia and Liz have their ranged armor classes. I'll do the 2 on Donard. They both miss. I'll do the 2 on Carrick. They both miss. I'll do the 2 on Sylvia. They both miss. And I'll do the 1 that's on Liz. They miss. Round number 2. And it's mutual. I will do all that again, and in this round Liz and Sylvia have to switch to their melee. So we'll do the 2 on Donard. 1 hits him for 1 point, he's at 29. I'll do the 2 on Carrick, and he gets hit for 8 points, he's down to 17. Look at that, 2 20s. The 2 on Sylvia. Now she was taking out her shield, so she has a 1 AC. That still isn't good enough. She gets hit for 12 points. No, she gets hit for 6 points. She's down to 9. And the one that's on Liz misses her. We had a mutual round. Malin did not expect that to go that badly. He's missed his chance to cast spells because we moved on to melee. Donard. He hits AC 6 and he kills a goblin. Carrick. I should have done 1 on Carrick. He hits and he kills another goblin. Liz and Sylvia have taken out their weapons, so there are 1, 2, there are 5 left, and there's none on Carrick. There's 1 on Donard. There's 2 on Sylvia. Round number 3. And it's mutual again. Malin is going to cast sleep. Let's have some common sense here. 2d8. And he puts them all to sleep. That did not go well. And we're going to keep Sylvia at the back with her bow. But let's move on to the next room. When Liz listens at this door, well, she doesn't really need to because everybody can hear the noise in this room, and it explains why nobody heard the fight in this room. And that's because there seems to be some kind of game going on and everybody is shouting and carousing. They can't surprise us, and I'm going to say we can surprise them on a roll of 1 to 3. Can we fail to surprise them? Okay. Round number 1. We don't get a surprise round, but we will get initiative. So we're going to burst in here. Will we prepare? Yeah, before we burst in, Malin is going to cast Shield. And as we burst in, we see these goblins are playing a gambling game where they are cockroach racing, and they are gathered around the cockroach track, all excited. There are 5 goblins here. There are 4 goblin bodyguards, and there is King Plaque. The 5 goblins who are too low ranked can't participate in the game, so they are on watch. I'm going to say in round number 1, I will roll for initiative, but the only people who can attack us are the 5 goblin archers. And we get initiative anyway. Sylvia has a sleep spell and she's feeling extremely ill. So we'll do archery first, and I'll do... Liz is going to try and take out one of the archers, and she fails to do it. It is down to 1 HP. Sylvia is going to cast sleep. And she seems to be better at casting sleep than shooting her bow, and she does a massive 13 points. That might be enough to take out everybody. The 5 goblin archers are asleep. That's 5 points. Then there are 8 points left on the goblin bodyguards, so they're asleep, and that leaves only the goblin king. So Donard's going to rush forward and go for him. And he hits, and he does 7 damage. The king is down to 8 HP. And Carrick, yep, kills the king. Right, we might as well move into the last room. We are out of healing spells and sleep spells. We have a phantasmal force. That means Sylvia is going to have to stay at the back. Malin has a fireball. No, he doesn't. Malin has a haste spell. I think what we're going to do is we're going to clear out this area. And I think given the state of us, we might clear out one more goblin building and make a retreat back to this room where the horses are. So Malin is going to cast haste on Carrick. He gets 2 attacks per round. And his little dwarven legs are going to scuttle into the next room. Let's see if we can hear anything. We don't. We know that they're there. They can't surprise us. Let's roll for initiative. Right, and we get initiative. So Liz and Sylvia are going to hang back with their bows, and that means that Donard and Carrick are going to give them a -2 Thaco penalty. They still get their +1 short range. So I'll do Liz. Who hits somebody on the back of the head for 2 points. And she hits Donard on the back of the head. Donard has to roll versus paralysis. Yeah, so that's 1 point of damage. Sylvia, with a -1 penalty, hits and kills one of the goblins. Donard, who's got an arrow sticking out of his head, still does enough to hit and kill another, and Carrick gets 2 attacks. And he hits and pulverizes one, swings around, and hits and kills another. There are 4 left, that's 2 each on the boys. That one misses Donard. They need a natural 20 to hit. They both miss Carrick. Right. It's round number 2. They get initiative. I'll do that again. They both miss Donard. They both miss Carrick. Liz is going to try again. Yes, and she hits and kills one. Sylvia misses. Donard misses. Carrick hits and kills one. Scuttles over to another. And yeah, and slices its head off like it's a Monday morning and it's his first day work. And round number 3. We get initiative. Let's see what our little dwarf can do since he's faster than anybody. Yep. So we've cleared out this building. My wild Carrick has got haste on. Should we check out more buildings? No, we're going to stick with our plan. We're going to go back to this room here. We're going to look for anything on the Goblin King that might give us some clues, such as a letter. He does have some good stash on him. I'll read that out quickly. He's got a magic sword on him. He's also got 200 gold pieces that the goblins were gambling with, and there's some jeweled decorated hunting horn, a beautiful goblet, and a pair of jeweled spurs, and together they're worth about 670 gold pieces. His sword +2 is magical, and it can also cast Cure Light Wounds once per day. It's a +2 sword, which means that's an upgrade for Sylvia, who's got a +2 short sword. We don't know it's magic yet, but we can use the Wand of Magic Detection to find that out. Now, there doesn't seem to be any lore in this system, as how do you discover additional effects? When you detect magic, how do you discover that a sword can cast Cure Light Wounds? The only way that could really happen is if there was some sort of elvish or dwarven script on the sword that made it clear that this sword, does something. Maybe runes that say, toucheth thine friends to make them better. I don't know. But hey, we have got a sword with an extra Cure Light Wound spell on it. So we're going to stick with our plan. We're going to go back to this building with our goblin friend. Remember, charm lasts for several days. In fact, it might last for a week. And he has looked after the horses. He told us that nobody came through. He didn't expect anyone to come through because everybody keeps to themselves here. None of these goblins want to be here. The conditions are terrible and they constantly grumble that they would be better if they all just found their own place to live. So there is a good chance then that this evening, when the goblins go to collect their rations, they will discover their chief has been killed, and they will in fact take this as an opportunity to seek their freedom and run. So all of these houses will be empty of goblins. Now, things did not go too well, and our plans to assault the main place today have gone a bit awry. So we're going to make it back out of here and back into the countryside, and we are going to have to camp overnight. So we will work out what happens this evening when we get there. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is roll for an evening encounter. And there isn't one, so the party wake up the next day. The little goblin helps Liz and Carrick make breakfast, and he's like a little kid watching his mother bake a cake, all excited for what will be the result. He hasn't had good food in a long time, and of course Donard, Malin and Sylvia learn today's spells, and this is their spell choices. I've had to start to write these down just to make sure I've got them in my head correct. 2 Cure Light Wounds, a Bless and a Hold from Donard. A Sleep, Shield, a Web, an Invisibility and a Haste from Malin. And 2 Sleeps, a Knock and a Phantasmal Force from Sylvia. We also have a Staff of Healing, and at the minute these are the people who have had a use of it, which is currently nobody. So I will actually use the Staff of Healing on Sylvia and Carrick because they're quite low. Sylvia gets a massive 2 points. Right, she's used up her dose. She's on 11. Carrick gets a great 3 points. He's on 23. So that means we're going to have to use the Cure Light Wound spells as well. Sylvia, bit better. She's on 16. And Carrick, that's better. He is on 29. They're nearly at their max. That is all of those used up. The other thing which I pondered earlier, on earth can you tell that a magic sword has magic properties? Well, it's called reading the book. The command word Silmar for his sword is engraved on the blade. This sword does have runes on it. I don't know what language Silmar is. If it's Elvish, then Sylvia can recognise it. If it's Dwarven, Carrick can recognise it. So they recognise the word heal on the sword, or heal by touch, whatever Silmar might refer to. That is a sword +2, which is going to go to Sylvia. That replaces her short sword +2. So we have one source of healing. We wake up the next day, and I will hurry things along by letting somebody else do the weather and the calendar, while the party make their way back into the keep. Oh, and somebody did mention in comments that Donard did not participate in Blizzard Pass. He was unconscious for most of it. So I removed his experience that was gained from that adventure. It was a short adventure, there wasn't much experience, so I dropped his experience by 200 points. Oddly, if he had those 200 points, he would have leveled up during the night. But hey ho, that's how close he is to leveling up. So we're going to assault the main tower through here. And if the city was quiet before, if possible, it's even more quiet this morning, because as predicted, all the goblins have fled and they have taken up the baboons with them. They have gone off to find a better life somewhere else, and our little goblin friend gives a little sigh of homesickness, but we tell him, don't worry, he'll be free soon enough to follow them. And we also say that if we don't kill old Skinny Legs, he will pursue and hunt you. So if we do kill him, his goblin comrades will see him as a hero, and that idea appeals to him. So he is happy to look after the horses again as we lead them into this building here. And we walk through here, and sure enough we see this impressive building in front of us. I think that's an illustration there. No, there isn't another one. And we see two massive bronze doors, double doors 20 foot high. They are open. I'm going to give Liz a move silently and hide in shadows check to see if she can look around this corner and see what's up ahead. I'll give her a 10% bonus because she is creeping around a corner, and she also gets 20% bonus on both anyway because she's got elven boots and a good elven cloak. So her move silently is going to be 75. And she makes that check. And her hide in shadows will be 65. And she rolls a 61. So yeah, she makes it, though just. Right, so she is able to look around the corner and see there are 5 hobgoblins. And the 5 hobgoblins are standing there. They won't get surprise on us. Can we get surprise on them? We can do on a roll of 1 to 2. Liz comes back and tells us of this. Let's roll to see if we get surprise on them. And we do. So they aren't doing that good a job of keeping watch. They are here. Now if the surprise round means that Donard and Carrick will have just enough time to close in on them. This is good because they had their crossbows out, which means if they want to melee, they will have to spend this round taking out their swords. We'll do Liz and Sylvia with a shot. Liz. Well, she shoots and she doesn't quite kill one. One is down to 1 HP. Sylvia. She shoots and she doesn't kill one either. It's down to 1 HP. That's a surprise round. Donard and Carrick are up in melee range. Let's do round number 1. And they get initiative. Right, I'm going to say the 2 at the back, 2 of them are going to use their crossbows to shoot at Liz and Sylvia. Well, 1 hits Liz for a point. And 1 hits Sylvia for 6 points. She's down to 10 HP. God, I swear that elf is like a pincushion. She always gets hit for a 6. The other 3 hobgoblins are going to have to take out their swords. So that is their round. So that gives Donard and Carrick a free go. And Donard pulverizes 1. And Carrick misses. Right, so round number 2. And it's mutual. Right, can Liz and Sylvia take out the 2 archers? Liz can't. Sylvia, with the short range bonus, she takes out the one that shot her. So there's one archer on Liz, and it misses her. There's a melee round, and we'll do their melee. There's one each on Donard and Carrick. The one on Donard misses. The one on Carrick misses. And we have a melee round. And Donard does enough to hit and pulverize another one. And Carrick does much the same. There's one left with 1 HP. Right, we're on round number 3. And we get initiative. Right, Liz. +1 onto that is an 8. She hits AC 6 with her short range and she kills the goblin archer that shot her. Well, Sylvia is going to use her magic sword on her own self. And she is back up to 15. And that is our healing used up. And we are at the foot of this Skinny Legs' hideout. And we will begin our assault properly next time. So until then, I'll see you